Everyone is talking about Donald Trump's big last 3 weeks in praise. I mean, after all, when you look at foreign policy, he eliminated for some time to come the Iranian nuclear threat without widening the war. When he went over there and the NATO leadership called him daddy, and they agreed to a 5% target of investments in their GDP and investments in defense. There's one thing that's interesting about all of this, and that is that he didn't just do this, he did it contrary to the gospel of our experts. The people in the military, the generals said you can't get 55,000 people back into the military. He did. We know how he did it. He appealed to their patriotism and promised they would be judged on their merit. You can't shut down the border. You just can't go from 10,000 to 0. He did it. I want to talk about our so-called experts. We know they've been wrong when they signed these collective letters. 51 intelligence authorities assured us Hunter's laptop was pretty much made up in Russia. But recently, in some of the marquee newspapers, sites, Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, of course the New York Times, they've made a series of statements by so-called experts that are absolutely confounded by reality.
Welcome back to Expert Playback, your shortcut to the stories shaping America and beyond. Tap subscribe to see more breakdowns on trending topics. 3 weeks into Trump's second term, the establishment media predicted chaos. Instead, we got record recruitment, soaring markets, and NATO allies actually agreeing to pay their fair share. Victor Davis Hanson has been tracking the expert class's meltdowns in real time, and today he's serving up receipts. From Iran strikes to border shutdowns, the scoreboard tells a different story than the headlines. Let's roll the tape.
The military, we were told, could not recruit because the falling demographics or gang activity, young people took drugs, they were obese. We're just going to be 45,000 recruits short. No, we're now met our recruiting goals up to 50,000. Some days 10,000 people a day. The economy did not crash or crater. The Wall Street is at all-time high. Stock prices, job growth unexpectedly. That's a word that we have to use because the left always says it's going to get very angry. The angry left, and they're very angry, and they say it's not going to work, and then they have to say, well, it worked, so it's unexpectedly.
Military recruitment surging, Wall Street hitting records, European allies opening their checkbooks, yet the same talking heads who promised disaster are already moving the goalposts. This isn't just about being wrong once. It's about a pattern of expert predictions crashing into stubborn reality. Victor argues we're watching the credentialed class lose credibility in real time. The question isn't whether they were wrong, it's whether they'll admit it and course correct to save face.
We had a leak from the Pentagon, of course, that the media picked up that there was marginal damage. Anybody who looked at the post-operational photographs could see that there was substantial damage. And so we had David Albright, one of the most prestigious, an analyst of nuclear proliferation. He said there was serious damage. We had the head of the international AEC, Mr. Grossi, serious damage. We had Israel, serious damage, Israel intelligence. And our intelligence agencies said serious damage, except for this outlying one from the Pentagon that the left-wing media picked up. So there is serious damage. I don't know why the left especially tried to suggest there wasn't. Remember, this is very, very ironic and paradoxical. The left told us before there was no need to strike Iran because they were months or years away from developing a bomb. There was no real existential danger now. As soon as we did hit, they said, oh my gosh, there might be uranium that could be quickly enriched. Then we get to the border, and we were told that there's only one solution for the border, and that was comprehensive immigration reform. We heard that for years. In fact, all we needed was a new president to enforce existing laws. We were said even Donald Trump, should he come in and get everything he wants, there's no way you can reduce 10,000 people a day to 0. He did that. He did that. Almost 1 million people have self-deported. And the immigration is now exclusively a problem of how to round up the people who came under Biden's administration, not to prevent new people. They're not coming. because of these deterrents. Finally, the Wall Street Journal had told us that the tariffs in March and April, they were going to crash the stock market. They were going to raise prices. We would have a hyperinflation. We were going to have a recession. We were going to lose jobs when coupled with deportation of, 1 million people leaving and another 300,000 or 400,000 deported. And yet here we are in June, and the stock market is at a record high.
Iran's nuclear program crippled, illegal crossings at zero, tariffs boosting markets instead of crashing them. The pattern is undeniable. Every expert prediction, every confident forecast, every dire warning has collided with the actual numbers. Hanson's final point cuts to the heart of it. When ideology drives analysis, reality becomes the enemy, and reality is winning.
There's one thing that's interesting about all of this, and that is that he didn't just do this, he did it contrary to the gospel of our experts. The people in the military, the generals said you can't get 55,000 people back into the military. He did. We know how he did it. He appealed to their patriotism and promised they would be judged on their merit. So just to conclude, on nuclear proliferation, wrong. On a forever war following the bombing of the uranium enrichment plants in Iran, wrong. Wrong on the border, that it couldn't be defended, that you couldn't stop illegal immigration, you couldn't self-deport people. Wrong on tariffs, wrong on the so-called trade war. No recession, no inflation, no sudden loss of jobs. In short, most of the criticism of Donald Trump was not based on reality. Is this going to stop that fraudulent reporting? No, it's going to continue.
If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button so more people see it. And if you want more sharp takes on global power plays, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.